There are a few things I need to tell you about myself before we get to the crux of the story. I'm not married. I have never been married, and let's not comment on the future. Also, I'm a very shy person. I'm actually quite surprised to find myself standing here. You could even say I'm introverted to a fault. To give you a sense of what I'm talking about, once it was my birthday week and I was about to be 6 years old, and I asked my father to buy me a watch, a nice fancy digital watch. My dad took me to Shoppers Stop in Andheri. Remember, this is the 90s. My mom very cleverly tagged along so she could do her own shopping, and for opinions and bag holding, she dragged my father away. Now this left me in a very uncomfortable spot because my father asked me to go to the shopkeeper, ask him to show me his range of watches so I could choose my favorite. I begged him to stay with me. I didn't want to go and talk to some stranger alone. I started crying right there in the middle of the store. All the shopkeepers came in to see if they could help. That just made me cry more. Starting conversation with people is just not my thing. Especially unfamiliar people in unfamiliar situations. I hate the unfamiliar, even now. If it's rehearsed, I'm good like this. But other than all these quirks, I was a good kid. I was the only boy in class who read books. I even wrote some shitty poetry. The teachers really liked me. But that was mostly because I could hold a conversation in English with them. My favorite teacher was Jane teacher. She used to teach us history in 9th standard, my school at Villaparle. I didn't like the subject, history. But it was a way of talking that I enjoyed. Her English was superb, and she exuded a sense of intelligence that came across as sarcasm to most kids. She once told us, "I pity you all. You are neither grown up nor are you children. You're somewhere in the middle, a complete mess." Nobody really understood what she was trying to say, but this comment stuck with me. Now I know what she was trying to say. Maybe it takes years to get something that a teacher once said. Or maybe I'm just slow. Shy and slow. I remember one of my classmates, Shivani, was performing very poorly in class, so Jane teacher called her out to give her some encouragement. By the end of her pep talk, she told the girl it was high time to pull up her socks. Shivani in question literally bent down to pull up her socks. The expression on Jane teacher's face was priceless. I remember laughing the hardest, never imagining our places to be reversed soon. So, around this time, my family was applying for a US visa. My father had been invited to an international convention in Vegas, and he thought it was a good outing for the entire family. Also, my dad had lost my birth certificate, so there was no proof that I actually existed on paper at least. As a workaround for this, he asked me to go to school and ask for a bona fide certificate. You all must know what a bona fide certificate means. In the dictionary, it reads, without deception, legally. I know this now, obviously, because I looked it up, but back then, as a 13-year-old boy, I had never encountered this word before. Given an unfamiliar task with an equally unfamiliar word, I did the only thing I could. I argued with my parents. "Why can't you go? You know I hate asking for such things." They counter-argued with me saying, "Come on, you'll be at the school, it'll save us a trip." That was a good point. I couldn't think of a response, so I didn't argue further, but I still didn't like it. The task was too unfamiliar, as were the details. I went to school the next day, preoccupied by this new task assigned to me. I'd read somewhere that when you pass through a door, you promptly forget why you entered the room in the first place. I guess that's true because as soon as I entered the gate of my school, I promptly forgot the name of the certificate. This new word I'd been reading, boom, it was gone. Throughout the early lectures, I tried as hard as I could to remember. I tried to not think about it so that it might just pop into my head. Sometimes that works, you know. But nothing. All I knew about this word was that I did not know what it meant, and it was needed to apply for a US visa, which was not much to go on. And again, this is the early 2000s, so no internet, no mobile, nothing to the rescue. Incidentally, that day we had an algebra lecture. And this particular class was taught by the principal of my school. I just realized this was my chance. In my head, I added 2 and 2 together. The principal sits in the school office. I have something important to get from the school office. That means I have something important to get from the principal of my school. And at least the principal was not some stranger. All I needed to do was remember the name of the certificate before she came and I'd be good. It was right there at the tip of my tongue. I wanted to grab onto it, but the closer I got, the further it pulled away. When she walked into class, I took last-minute measures and asked Bhushan, my friend sitting next to me, what are the certificates you need to apply for a US visa? He paused for a second and then incredibly he seemed to know a little bit about this and listed down a few names and I looked at them. Some of them I knew, but I knew I was looking for one that I wouldn't know. I scanned the list and there at the bottom was the one that jumped out at me simply because it was so unusual and I didn't know what it meant. That was it, Bhushan to the rescue. Before the lecture could start, with my palms sweating, cloaked in this confidence of Bhushan's knowledge, I walked up to the front next to the principal who had started writing on the chalkboard. As soon as I was near, she stopped. She was this South Indian lady, dark complexion, wearing a sari that was tucked away so that she could maneuver around, and she peered at me from above her bifocal glasses. I gulped once and asked, "Ma'am, can I have my matrimonial certificate?" Her moment of silence screamed in my head. The way she was looking at me, I knew my worst fears had been realized. She proved it by asking, "So, when did you get married?" The randomness of the question caught me off guard. I mumbled, No, I never. Do you even know what a matrimonial certificate is? You only get it after you're married. The entire class understood what I had done and what was happening. My face was red hot and I was trying really hard not to cry. I mumbled again. I needed a certificate to apply for US visa, so Bhushan said matrimonial, so she silenced the class with one look. Bhushan was still laughing. He said, "I just listed down different certificates. I didn't know what you wanted." The principal then turned to me with an expression that said, "Well, I didn't know, ma'am, I'm sorry." There was a smile lingering on her face, I'm sure of it. But she didn't laugh, not in my face at least. "All office-related work will be taken care of in the office. Now go back to your place." I went back, keeping my head down, trying hard not to call attention to myself. I didn't go to the school office after class. I didn't go to the school office after school. I couldn't face her. When I went back home, my mom asked for the certificate and I said I didn't remember the name, so I didn't get it. I obviously did not tell her the whole story. So mom wrote down bona fide in big letters and sent me right back to get it. This time I went to the school office and I asked for it. It was a small piece of paper with my name, date of birth, saying I attended this school with a stamp and sign. That's it. And I finally got it. It was that easy. Whenever I meet Bhushan, he still shares this story about me as a way of introducing me to someone new. I guess if you do something stupid enough, something embarrassing enough, no matter how much time goes by, people will never forget you. A few days after this fiasco, I encountered Jane teacher, and the first thing she said in a disapproving tone, "I heard you ask for a matrimonial certificate? That was not expected from you." Her look of disgust made me take an oath. I will never use a word I don't know the meaning of. As I grew up to be a writer, this was one great lesson for me. Everything has a name, everything has a time. This is the way of the world. Thank you.